Hello everyone, Great Man Ayilara here, and today and this very moment I just want to maximize this time to talk to you from the perspective of a man that believes more in intelligence and common sense than spiritualizing everything. And I am of the opinion today that no God in the sky need your service, either now or maybe in the years to come. A God that needs you to feel happy is no God at all. A God whose emotion you can tweak with your well-behaved manner or your lackadaisical attitude towards life is not a God at all. A God that needs you to go and kill someone to fight for him is no God at all. I hope you are jotting things down. A God that also needs you to give him money so that he will not be robbed is no God at all. A God that tells you who to marry, what to eat, and how your life should be so you will enter his house or come into his heaven is no God at all. The idea of God, if there is one, is that this being should be able to be all-encompassing and all-sufficient by himself. If you want to kill people, he should go and kill people by himself, not sending you. If this God want to convert people, he should go and convert them by himself. It cost him nothing. At least he's the most magnificent creature in the world, all-sufficient, all-powerful, right? Omnipotent. If a God really wants you to dominate and rule, or he wants to be in the affairs of all men, he shouldn't be waiting for you to do that for him. See, the idea of a God that needs the help of a mortal man like you and I is that God that is carved out of maybe the trees in the jungle or some irons that is being poured oil on. A true God in existence should be more powerful than any of us, and so not needing our input, our suggestion, our effort to feel good or feel better. Now, a lot of people ignorantly in this part of the world claimed that they are serving God or they are in the service of God. I have never been more enlightened, more awakened, more knowledgeable and more intelligent in my life until I stopped serving that kind of God that needs me to feel good. A God who depends solely on my disposition to either feel high, feel a self-esteem, or a sense of belonging. So one day someone asked me that, do you really believe in the existence of God? And I said, I might believe, but I don't believe in the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of the Muslims. Neither do I believe in the Yahweh God Almighty of the Christians. Those two gods look more like the same and very weak in their disposition towards what they tell their subject to do. I believe in the spirit of life, the source of creation, neither a male or a female, so I can't even address the spirit of life as a it, a he, or a she. I believe that something actually made all the creativity in the world today, but I can't justify if such a thing is in existence, if we really existed through evolution. There is no shame in saying you don't know if God exists or not. There is no shame in saying that you are not sure where you are going to because you don't even know where you came from. I can sit you down in the next 5 minutes and paint a story in your head of where you came from. But you can be convinced in your own mind that you do not know where you came from. Before you began to know this is white, it is black, this is a Christian, this is a Muslim, this is how to live, this is how to run things, you really had no clue of where you came from. If you do have a clue of where you came from before you burst into this planet Earth, tell me, and tell me how the place looked. None of you have a clue of where you came from. Agree with that fact. If you don't have a clue of where you came from, why are you so sure of where you're going to? So the subject of afterlife, life after death, hell, heaven, and all of those things, I believe strongly that should be left for us to discover when we eventually die. If you don't know where you are coming from, you must not be so certain of where you're going to. Maybe you are just meant to exist in this life for a period of time and live a better planet for the people that will be coming after you or the people you met here. Maybe that's the whole thing you are existing for. But I realize a lot of people, especially Africans, are so earthly conscious, are so heavenly conscious. They are so conscious of the afterlife that they become earthly useless. And you would be thinking that how conscious they are about the afterlife will really reflect in the way they live this life. No. One mentality of a black man that I've realized is that he's always looking for a shortcut out of the mess that he created. A shortcut out of the mess that he created. And this is one thing I want you to be practical about. The moment you know you have option B, you will make a mess of the option A that you have at hand. That's the way we'll be living our lives. And that is the crux of our underdevelopment in this part of the world. Every developing nation, talk about America, talk about China. Those are the two developed countries in the world right now. I'm not even talking about British or Britain or those European countries. There is something that is similar with both of them. It is the ability to take responsibility of what they have at hand right now, right here, right now. It is the ability to know that all we have now is what we are sure of, and we must make the best out of it. And so in Africa, so many countries of Africa solely rely on what they will get as a compensation of what they are lacking here in this world. I told a story yesterday in our gathering of few people about a certain woman who died. Of all the things that she has done, she should go to heaven. This is a story. This is not factual. This is a fiction story. Of all the things the woman has done, she should be in heaven. So when she opened her eye on the other side, she popped into the hand of Angel Peter. Let's say Angel Peter. And Peter said, okay, madam, you are due to go to heaven, but would you like to go to hell? And she threw the tantrum, saying that, okay, what do you mean? I suffered all my life. You want me to come here and also suffer? And Peter said, you don't have to stay in hell. Just have a peep of what hell looks like. And so they entered an elevator. Contrary to our opinion, the elevator was going up. You know, everybody in Africa believes that devil is down, God is up. Hell is down, heaven is up. So contrary to our belief, the elevator was going up. And she started saying, this elevator is supposed to be going down. And Peter said, hold on. We do things differently here in this part. And they eventually got to this place called hell. Contrary to what she has believed again, there was no fire in hell. So they opened up the gate for her. She saw people lounging, having a good shower. They are in a jacuzzi. Everybody drinking wine, feeling cool. A lot of activity. People are challenging each other. Creativity is so much in hell. And the woman was like, wow, if hell could be like this, heaven would be much more better than hell. So they went back to heaven. When she got to heaven, she also peeped into what heaven looks like. And in peeping, she saw that heaven is filled up with people who are so melancholy in temperament. They are floating in the air. Everybody just singing Hosanna, Hosanna. One thing they do over and over and over and over again. People minding their steps, just going very sad looking people and all that. There is no chaos, but the order was too much. And the woman said, oh my God, hell is better than heaven. Heaven is too boring. I need to leave this place. And Peter said, okay, let me take you back to hell. And when they got to hell, this time around, the hell she first saw that was filled up with activity of people enjoying themselves and all that, it's totally different this time around. The hell she's seeing now is filled up with desert, people who are famished, people who are thin, people who are suffering, laboring. And the woman said, this is wayo. This was not the hell I foresaw. Why? And Angel Peter said, you see, all of these people, they worked for the kind of hell you foresaw. All of them are creating the kind of hell they want to enjoy. It could take a while. It might take some time. It will take a while for them to sweat for it. In the process of creating the kind of hell you foresaw, people have to go through pains, turmoils. But what is different between them and those who in heaven is because they chose to take responsibility. So because they are choosing responsibility over irresponsibility, they can create the kind of hell where there will be jacuzzi, where there will be AC, where there will be wine, where there will be drinking. Well, you see, those people in heaven, they only want to enter into the rest of what they have not worked for. And so if things pays them there or not, they cannot complain. So they had to go by the rules and regulation that was created for them by some metaphysical being. And so their life will forever remain boring because they don't even have the right of ownership to whatever it is that happened in that particular heaven. That is the same with you and I. We want to go to heaven, but we are not ready to work it out here on earth. An average African person would rather go with someone who's promising him what has been worked for instead of learning from someone how to work for what is expected in life. So you see how we live in deterioration, in so much turmoil, because we are not ready to stand up to take responsibility. Now, why did I title this that God in the sky does not need your service? Because either you do good or you do bad. Either you stand up to responsibility or you choose to shy away from responsibility. Now your body will tell you it is you that will reap the repercussion of whatever it is that you do. So what it is that you do in life has no consequential repercussion on who God is not. If you decide to choose the right way of living, you are not doing it to please any God. But the God of the Christian will impose your lifestyle on you. So when you constantly live your life because you don't want to offend God or you don't want the devil to punish you, you realize that you are going through the doctrines of men, and such a life is a boring life. A boring life which you cannot afford to maintain for the rest of your life. And one day you will fall. In the process of trying to please someone, you will displease yourself, and in one time you chose to please yourself, you feel like a sinner unto the one you are pleasing. How about you rewrite the story of your life, African people, to begin to do the right things because it is the right thing to do, not because someone is going to judge you accursed or is going to judge you blessed. Why don't you stand up to responsibility, not because you want to please any God or you want to serve any God, but because this is what is right for you to do? Remember the story of heaven and hell I painted for you. If your hell is going to be filled up with activity and enjoyment and so much fun, it is in your hand to do. You are not doing it to make the devil be proud of you. As a matter of fact, devil is on the hell. If you are going to be irresponsible and allow things to just fall on your laps, you can create a kind of heaven that you have no right to say or do otherwise. You can't think outside the box. Unfortunately, that is the kind of heaven that was promised you either in Korean or in the Bible, where you sing Hosanna, Hosanna for the rest of your life. What kind of life is that? Aside the fact that all of these things are fiction story that has been told so much more that people are now beginning to make a religion out of it, Does this sound sensible to you as a person? So once in my life, I was born as a Muslim. Then I was looking for knowledge and I came into Christianity. Then I saw that neither of the two can take me to my desired destination, and I became a seeker, looking for the truth of every matter, trying to extract the intelligence of all things. And here we are today, living life as if we are some kind of herds who is being governed by a shepherd. Now, when you begin to now submit your own intuition, your own intelligence, your own common sense, your own focus in life in the hand of another person, you cannot live beyond the expectation of that person. And when you try to now feel like yourself, be like yourself, live the way it will make you happy, it is now defined as a form of shortcoming or limitation for you. Who you really are become a sin to another person you have decided to submit yourself to, because they want you to live their life. Now, in the course of saying I'm serving God, I'm in service of God, God called me, I'm into ministry and all of that, none of you is actually serving God, because the real God does not need servicing. He can make things happen all by himself. And while you say you're servicing God or you are serving God, what you're doing actually is projecting your fear on others and sharing what you call your blessing with those who believe in you. Mankind were made all and the same. Let me show you this picture. I think I pasted it on my Facebook earlier. Now, I don't know if you can see very well. This picture is actually containing skulls of people. These are skulls of people. Now, either you are a woman or a man, either you are Hindu or Muslim, either you are Buddhist or Christian, either you are this or that. When you die, this is how you look. Can you see? When you die, this is exactly how you look. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you serve. It doesn't matter that's God that you are servicing. When you die, this is exactly what you look like. There is no gainsay. Let them bury you in a casket of gold and wear you chains of diamonds. Now, whoever made all of these people will never love one more than the other. Whoever is responsible for all of these people will never make one to be better than the other in his or her eyes. So why the disparity? But do you know that everyone in this place believes that some will rot in hell, a lifetime of torment, eternity, while some will enjoy with them after life? So I say that your idea of heaven is your exaggerated fantasy of the life you are not able to attain while you are here. And your idea of hell is you projecting your hatred on those who choose to think outside the box from you. Now, there's something they call heresy. Heresy is not really a bad word. When someone tells you that you are preaching heresy, or you are saying heresy, or you are talking heresy, they say it because in Africa alone, they say it because they want to witch hunt you, they want to blackmail you emotionally, they want to make you shut up. But do you know the meaning of heresy is ability to choose outside what is currently reigning? So everybody believes that in order to pray to God, they have to be on their feet. But you chose to stand up, you chose to sit down. It is heresy for you to sit down when everybody chose to stand up. Why? Because you chose to believe what you chose to believe. You have a mind of your own. You have a thought pattern of your own. You are not now living according to the crowd specification or opinion. You are living according to what you have proven to be right. So as a seeker, you are living an heretic life. An heretic life is not a bad life. An heretic life is a life that is being lived according to what you have tested to be true and to be okay, not according to what people believe is right or wrong. So say what you have to say, as long as it doesn't look like what they believe in, they will forget suddenly that their skull and your skull will look exactly alike when they die. Your skeletal system will look exactly alike. Everybody smile when they die, except your teeth removed before you die. Everybody smiles when they die. You turn into dust when you die. You decay when you die. Every single person that is living have the same fate when they die. But because you chose not to believe what they believe in, and you chose to think outside the box, you have become an heretic human being. And being an heretic human being is beautiful. It's just because they use it in a negative way in this part of the world that makes you feel like, no, I don't want to be heretic. I want to follow the rest of the sheep. So being like a sheep is submitting your own life to the hand of a shepherd. And the shepherd will rule you the way he deems fit. Not the way you should be maintained, you should be led, and you should be taken care of. And there's nothing stopping you from being your own taskmaster, from being your own ruler, and being your own leader. That's one value that is lacking in this part of the world. So there is no God in the sky that is waiting for your service or you are servicing. Every single act of service you do on this planet, you do it to affect another human being like yours. So whatever it is that you are doing that does not directly translate to service of humankind is not a service at all. Whatever thing that you know that does not necessarily or directly translate to developing the life or making the life of other people better is not a discovery at all. Whatever gift, talent, whatever it is that you have attained in life that does not directly translate to making the life of the person right next to you, a human being like yourself, better, it is not a service at all. Now, all those things you guys do in your mosque, in your church, in your shrine, in all of these things is not a service to any God at all. It is just an activity in a wrong direction. Simply put, an activity in a wrong, in fact, let me say a futile activity in a wrong direction, if it does not directly translate to helping the other person right next to you. So in the beginning of this broadcast, I started telling you that a God that needs you to make him happy is no God at all. A God whose your act, your life can make sad is no God at all. That's a God you can judge his temperament, you can tweak his emotion, you can even abuse emotionally. That's no God at all. Either you do this or you do that, God should remain God irrespective. Either someone believe in this or believe in that, a God should remain a God irrespective. So God should not send you to go and convert other people to think like you think. That is slavery. God is not the one telling you to go and win the souls of others. You have no right over everybody's soul or anybody's soul. Soul winning is an art of witchcraft. It is solely a doctrine of man. It is nothing else. It has nothing to do with making God happy or whatever. And say, he that winneth a soul is wise. As a matter of fact, he that winneth a soul is a witch or a wizard. It is an art of witchcraft and wizardry for you to want to control the mindset of others, subjecting them to a life where they cannot think outside the box than you. Subjecting them to a kind of modus operandi where they only think like you, act like you, behave like you, wear the kind of clothes you wear, and put their money that should be of benefit to them under your feet. So when you say, I'm serving God by winning souls, you are only serving your own ego or a wizard. And know this for sure, that most of these things are prevalent in Africa alone. That's why they will forever compare you to a monkey, ape, or some kind of beast and animals. It is beyond the color. It is beyond the color. This has nothing to do with I am black or white. It has everything to do with the mentality. The mentality of an average African man is to be ruled by others, not to take responsibility. Do not forget the story of hell and heaven I told you. Those who are in heaven are subjected to the rule of one person because they enter into another person's rest. Entering into people's rest is not taking responsibility to create the kind of rest that you desire. So when the rest is not restful at all, when you are not really resting in peace, you have no say, because this is not free be now. It is a free of charge thing. But those in hell can create an atmosphere of miracle or whatever it is for themselves because they are out. If you're just joining, you can go back to the beginning and you'll see that story the way I painted. It is purely fictional story. But as I round up today, I would like to ask you just this one question. If you don't know where you came from, how are you sure there is a destination for you to go to? How are you sure there is a destination for you to go to? If you cannot really point out that you came from heaven, that you are painting for yourself, how are you sure you will go back to that heaven? What was existing before your creation? What was in existence, aside those jargons you have read in the Bible or Quran or whatever, what was in existence before you know yourself or recognize yourself as human being? Before you were conceived in your mother's womb, what was in existence? Nothing was in existence. It is because they spank you not to do this that you know that this is not right. It's because they praise you for doing this that you know that, okay, this is right to do. All of those things, you learn it on earth and you will leave it here on earth, and it has no consequential effect on wherever it is that you are going to, because you are going nowhere. Humanity is just a recycling process. Those who came will go, and those who have gone will come back. That's why the earth will maintain its circumference and its rolling over the solar power. The amount of people that is needed to be on earth per time will be on earth per time. Those who need to go per day will go per day. It has nothing to do with the act of God, the act of this thing and all that. There is a way that earth balances itself. We cannot be overpopulated. We can only be overpopulated by location. We cannot overpopulate this planet. And we cannot underpopulate this planet. That's why it is never coming to an end. It will keep spinning over millions upon millions of years. So every single one of you that are here right now, believe that you have been here before. What you did while you were here before is none of your business. It's of no consequence. You have explored that adventure and that is gone. It is gone forever. What you will do now is what you should be mindful of. Are you going to rewrite your story now? Are you going to be a better human being? Are you going to be a better person? That is what you should concern yourself and bother yourself about right now. Saying that when I die, I'm going to heaven to go and rest, or I'm going to hell to go and face the consequences of punishment till the end of time or to the eternity is fallacy. Those are products of fear that are put inside of you. But whenever you come to reality that come, what I do here have a greater repercussion with people on earth here. I am not doing this to please God or offend the devil. I am doing this to actually make life either bearable or unbearable for human beings. You will constantly live with that mindset of leaving behind a conducive environment, a conducive planet for people that you are meeting here, or you met here, or those who that will meet you here, or those that will be meeting this planet when you are gone. So as a seeker, we do not do the right thing to please God or to displease the devil. We do the right thing simply because it is the right thing to do. We don't do it for a while. We do it all of the time. Not because we are going to be judged by someone, but because we live a life of judgment of our own daily. I do a thing, I judge myself. Is this right? Is this wrong? No, it's not right. And I stop doing it. Is this right? Is this wrong? Yes, it is right. I keep doing it. You are the judge of your own. You are your own judgment. And if you are not lying to me, everything that it takes to judge yourself is right within you. That's what the Christians call the Holy Spirit. Unfortunately, there is no Holy Spirit, there is no evil spirit. Spirit is spirit. There is no Holy Spirit, there is no evil spirit. Spirit is spirit. Even the Boko Haram in Sambisa Forest knows that what he's doing is wrong. It is an inherent divine nature of man to know what is right and know what is bad. But you are advised constantly as a person who is seeking to choose what is right. Nobody has the right to tell you what is right. Nobody has the right to tell you what is bad. As a seeker, it is not mandated. It is not the onus of anybody to dictate to you and say, this is how to dress, this is a way to live. Something in you just tells you that this is wrong and this is right. And what is wrong for you might be right for me. What is right for me might be wrong for you. That's why no one can judge you. You judge yourself. Criticism is allowed, but judgment is not permitted. You judge yourself. So whatever it is that you do as a person that does not directly affect a human being like yourself is no service to your God. The way the Western folks were able to create a world that is like heaven for them is because they took responsibility. If we take the same responsibility here in Africa, the law that applies to them there can apply to us here. We are not trying to copy them. We are becoming a human being that is filled up with the consciousness of responsibility, not thinking of, okay, hell or heaven or God or Satan, but thinking about humanity first. Humanity first as the one that deserves our service. On that note, I'd like to sign out here. My name remains Greatman Ayilara. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I am a seeker. Whatever is true, I want to find out. Whatever is right, I want to do. I am the light of this world. I shine in the moment of darkness. I'm the salt of this world. I bring perseverance and preservation in the moment of decay. I am the word of life, and you can also be a seeker too. Thank you, and please do share this video with as many friends of yours as possible. Bye for now.